welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma and today we're doing my 2025 crochet plans. As you can see, I'm in a different, it looks different. We're in my living room now because I finally, I've been on YouTube for over a year. I finally got a tripod so I don't have to sit in my room where the good lighting is, putting my phone on the window. We can move around now, guys. Now, I know my living room is boring. I don't spend that much time in here. So I might have to get a tapestry or a poster or something because I know the plain walls is just a little boring. But hopefully, today we're going to be focusing on other stuff, so shouldn't be too big of a deal. But yeah, I have finally gone through all my ideas, all my yarn, and kind of I allotted them for the year. So just so you can get an overview of my thought process, nothing crazy, I'll insert a screenshot, but I literally just made a chart. Also, I have it in front of me here, so that's what I'm looking at. I literally just made a chart of every month and bullet pointed what projects I want to do, but also seasonally what makes sense and what I think I'll have time for, especially now through the end of April. The focus is still school and college, so we gotta focus on that. But I don't do much outside of school and crocheting, so I do still, despite having less time than I normally would if I wasn't in school, I do still have a lot of crocheting time. So that's why there's so many things on this list. I make the time, almost, is what it really is. So yeah, I'll say is this is, if I stick to plan, if I stick to these plans specifically and to my no buy yarn ban for this year, by the end of this year, I'm gonna have very little yarn, almost no yarn. I might have left off one or two balls or scraps. I'll have scraps by the end of the year, but I at the end of December made a Google Doc chart of all of my yarn. I took pictures of all my yarn, and if you want to see more of that, watch the first D-stash video of this year. I went through all of that in a lot more detail. But when I was making these plans, I basically went through that chart and the ideas I had for the yarn and allotted them times. So by December, I should have very little, so we'll see how that goes. But right now, we're just going to get into what the plans are, because about 2 people said they wanted it, and I'm for the people. Now, I know I am a little late to this video because, hello, it's the 22nd that I'm filming this, and I think you'll see this on the 25th. So we're already pretty much into January, and the reason that I realized what is going on here? The reason that I realized that I need to probably get a little bit more precise with my plans was because I made this cute little almost vision board, less planning, more vibes, on Canva in December, because I was this is all I really need for project plans. Sorry, it took me a sec to bring it up on my computer, but I made this really cute vision board-esque thing for my project plans. And as of the 22nd, I have finished 1, 2, 4 out of the 5 things that I have allotted for winter. But winter is supposed to be January through March and also November through December, and I've done basically everything on this list. Because I didn't know what I would be up to, and clearly more crocheting than I even thought I would be. So that's why I was I need to make a bit more detailed of a list and also a longer of a list. So that's where the new one came in. Anyways, all that to say, in January, because we don't actually have that much left, my only goals is to finish my brown sweater, and really creative names I have, but it's a sweater that I'm making using this big twist prism. I bought 8 balls of this in August, right before I left for school. I wanted to use my employee discount, so I was I think I bought 3 sweaters quantities, this one being one of them. I'm 99% sure. But I bought this, and I bought one other that you'll see. but I finally am getting to this sweater, and I'm using the exact same pattern that I wrote for this. The only difference is I'm gonna shorten the arms by a couple rows, just because, like, I love a long arm, but like this is actually too long. Like, it's nice and like baggy, obviously, but when I set my arm down, like all of this literally goes over, and it's like, it's just a little too long. So yeah, I finished already the back panel, and I'm about a third of the way. No, I'm about halfway through the front panel. So then after that, I just need obviously the sleeves and the ribbing and stuff. So that should be pretty easy. I'd love to finish that by like Sunday. I don't know what the rest of my week is gonna look like. And placements start next week, so I'll have like all this free time in the morning that I have is gonna be basically gone. So we'll see. But the only other thing I have for January that I really would like to finish is this vest that I'm working on. And you'll see more about this because I'm filming a whole video, but I bought some yarn from Shein and Temu to test out. And this is one of them, and it came in a pack of 5, and I started making these squares not quite knowing what I would do with them. And I'm gonna make a vest, I'm pretty sure, excuse me. But I'm waiting to get my wool wash in the mail so I can block these, so I know like I'm like kind of low on yarn, so I want these to be their full size so I can like do the vest better. So I'm kind of waiting around on this, but that should be here by hopefully the end of the week. Then if I finish my brown sweater by the end of this week, Sunday-ish, I should be able to finish this by the end of the month, and be right on track with that. Guys, this tripod came with a little clicker to like record and stop recording, and I kind of don't know what to do with myself now, so I'm gonna try not to be too choppy. But if my editing's a little off, it's because I'm filming slightly differently right now. I'm getting used to it. But anyways, now we are going into February, and I have 4 things listed for February, but also February is the shortest month, so I might not get to all of this. And if I don't, I only have 2 things listed in March. So, and March is spring break. So actually, I don't know why I put so many things in February. I should have had those switched, but February projects can bleed into March. I'm fine with that. The first thing on the list though is a sweater, it's a cardigan actually, using this Line Brand 100% Superwash Merino in Midnight Blue. I'm going to be making the Shelly cardigan, I think it's called. We'll insert picture. I did a poll on my Instagram, and this is actually the one that was losing, but it's the one my mom voted for, so it kind of wins, you know? You'll see, like, I'm gonna make another cardigan. This is just the first one I'm gonna make, but I'm really excited because it's one of those, like, it has, like, the really tiny buttons, and, like, you can do, like, the one on top and, like, have it open. I love that style. So, yeah, I also already got the buttons for it, but they're in my room, and I don't really want to get it, so you'll see that when I start it. I promise, like, it's fine, but first thing is I do want to start the cardigan as soon as I'm done with my January projects. And the next thing is actually right here. It's another one of my whips. It's just a little slow going whip, but I'm making this scarf. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, love. Another part of my Shein Temu video that you'll see, this one is the yarn from Shein, and I'm making this moss stitch scarf. Oh my god. Where is it? I'm making this moss, oh yeah, like it looks so good. I love the colors. I usually make scarves, like I start with the width and I just go like to make it as long as possible, but because I don't know how far this yarn is gonna go, I started with the length, and then it's gonna be a shorter scarf. Like we can see it's gonna be a shorter scarf, but I started with the length, and then I figured I would make it just as wide as I wanted. Yeah, so that's this, and it's great. I think I started this week, or maybe like over the weekend. But yeah, it is just very slow because even I'm holding the yarn double, and it's like maybe a DK weight. Like they're quite thin. These two, like look how thin they are. So holding it together, I want to say these are like fingering, which makes a DK, and like Yeah, so I want to finish that in February. I'm sure it'll still be cold. Not I'm sure, I know. I've been told it's going to be cold until like April, which is really concerning for me. Because it's going to be cold for that long, I feel justified in having one more like warm weather, like one cold weather, I guess, warm accessory plan, and that is the clover beanie. I have been wanting to make that's this beanie for so freaking long, and I finally have the right yarn for it. So it calls for one worsted weight and one mohair, and like you'll see, this will probably be in the Temu Sheen video, but I got this mohair and I already made a project with it, but I had leftovers, like a lot left over. So, and I had this worsted weight ball sitting around. I'm gonna make a navy blue clover beanie. It's gonna match my navy blue fingerless gloves, and it's gonna be great. So I'm very, very excited for this. Now, does the clover beanie say 100 grams and like low 200s yards? Yes. Does this only have 194 yards? Also yes, but it says 100 grams. So I'm just really hoping that I don't run out. And if I do, I don't know what I'm gonna do after that, but it's fine. I'm very excited for a clover beanie. This next one, I've already gotten one comment about it, and I don't mind the comment, but I don't need discourse about this because I don't really care, which sounds really bad, but like you'll see. So basically I have this yarn, and it's 100% fin / merino wool, and it's 300, it's a sport weight 3-ply yarn. I got this at the state fair and I want to make socks out of it. And I know there's no nylon in this. There's no synthetic anything in this. But I want to make socks and I want neutral colored socks. And I'm also still learning how to crochet socks. So this is like kind of an experiment. So I'm fine. Like this is not yarn that I can use for much else because I don't need another beanie. I don't need more gloves. It's not enough for a sweater or a top or anything, and it's 100% wool. So I'm gonna make socks out of it. I'm not gonna find, I was gonna order nylon thread because I have another 100% wool yarn that I wanna make socks out of, but I don't, like the thread isn't the cheapest, and then I have to like pay for shipping because I couldn't find it on Amazon. It just overall seems like a lot of, I don't have like that much extra money to be spending on thread or whatever. So I'm gonna make socks. And my thing is like, a lot of the things I've seen is that like, well, I watch a lot of like crochet and knitting podcasts, and I've seen people knit socks with 100% wool and they seem chill about it. So I'm gonna be chill about it. But also the big things I've seen is that they'll wear out more, or like the fit might change, or it might felt. Now, one thing you should know about me is I have a drawer full of socks. I'm not going to be wearing these like every single day. I'm just not. I have so many other choices to be wearing. Like they're not going to get that much wear because I have plenty of other socks. So that's one thing. And then also I'm not super hard on my socks. Like I've had pairs of socks get holes in them after like 5 or 6 years. And I get it. They're synthetic. But like, I'm just not that hard on socks because I've acquired a lot of them. I don't wear them like super often. Does this make sense? Basically, thank you for your concern. Anyone who was concerned about my plans to make 100% wool socks. I'm chill with it. I need us all to be chill with it. Capiche? Great, cool. That being said, that is the last thing I have listed for my February plans, which I'm guessing either this or the beanie are absolutely going to get pushed into March. We'll see. Or honestly, maybe even the sweater, because I've made one DK weight sweater and it did take me a couple months. Actually, that's a lie. It took me like 2 months or something. Still, it felt like a really long time, basically. But that means we're going into March, my birthday month. Nothing crazy planned for crocheting or my birthday, but I have a week to crochet, to catch up on homework, to catch up on sleep, to do literally whatever I want. That being said, I obviously have another cardigan planned, and that's using this Loops and Threads Luxe Merino wool blend. I'm pretty sure I have enough. I have 4 of these, and they're kind of hefty balls. They're 410 yards, which is like 1,600 total, almost 1,700. And I don't think that's usually enough for a sweater for me, but I'm gonna try. And if I run out, I'm pretty sure this yarn is still available at Michael's. I'm gonna look actually right now. Okay, yeah, it is absolutely still on the Michael's website. It is even buy one, get one half off right now. I'm obviously not gonna buy it right now, but I'm guessing if I do need to buy yarn, I'll need to buy 2 more. And I think I said in my destash video that I wasn't going to buy yarn to finish projects. Like I really wanted to no buy with no exceptions, but I didn't realize that there are a couple projects that like I know what I really want to make with them, and I will have to get yarn for that to do that project. And like there's no point in like me agonizing finding a project that will fit what I have if I can just get a ball or 2 more to make what I like really want. So I'm just gonna do that. Like I'm gonna try obviously not to, but I'm not gonna like beat myself up if I buy something to finish a cardigan. Like that's not what I need to be doing, honestly. My only other plan for March is another pair of socks, and it's using this wool that I don't have with me, but I have back in Texas that my mom will send to me. I want to make either like striped socks or, well, obviously I have 2 colors. So I'm either going to do stripes, I'm going to do the toe, the heel, and the cuff in one color and everything else in the other color. Or I'll do another pair of Alice socks. Okay, I got them. These are the Alice socks. They're really cool. I made them using a now discontinued yarn. I think it's the Michael's Wool Like. Has no wool in it. It's all like polyester or something. I don't remember what it's made out of completely, but I love the texture of this. I don't love the construction of this sock, so I kind of want to like figure out a way to do it from, well, I want to figure out how to do it from the toe up, not from the cuff down. And then I also really want to change the ribbing because this ribbing just takes so long and it's like so tedious that I don't actually want to do it again. But we'll see if I do. Or when I start the sock, I might just be feeling really lazy and just follow the pattern. So we'll see. And this is what I mean about not being worried about wearing out my socks, because I made these in like October and I think I've worn them twice. Like I just have a lot of socks, and that's probably a me problem, but also like it's fine. So April is another month that I don't have a lot planned out because I've been in college for, this is my 3rd year, which means it's my 3rd spring semester, which means it's my 3rd final season. And I get so little crocheting done during like finals and when I just have homework every night and like reading and studying and all this. I just tend to not have a whole lot of time for crocheting. So my only plans for April are to finish the green cardigan and to finish my hexie blanket, which I haven't talked about on here yet. I'm making its own video for it, but basically I have in my stash, I had accumulated just a bunch of weight 6 yarns, and I wanted to get rid of them in a blanket fashion because, as you can see, I have 2 blankets that aren't temperature blankets back home, but I couldn't bring any of them here, and it's a little bare here. So I started making big hexagons out of the yarn that I have, and I want to finish this in April. I had to stop because I only have 1 more ball of the chunky yarn left here. Obviously, I have more at home. I'm actually gonna get more this week in the box that my mom is sending me because I've been here for 2 weeks and I already am having her send me yarn. My bad. But there's some more chunky yarn in that box, but I know there's even more at home. So by April, I want that all here so I can finish the blanket because I just think it'll be a cool blanket, and I'd love to have a crochet blanket in New York because A, I need it, but also it's just a little boring without them. So that's all I have for April, just because I'll be wrapping stuff up, and that's also what I'm hoping this season the weather will start changing a little bit and I can like get out of this like cozy survival headspace that I find myself in a lot right now. So yeah, hoping for warmer weather by April. In May, I want to make a vest out of this recycled tweed from Queensland Yarn. I have 4 balls of it. I could have my yarn stash open. Okay, my bad. I already lied. I have 3 balls of the Queensland tweed, which is probably why I'm project planning for just a vest, because I don't think it's going to be enough for much more. I'm also going to insert a picture of like the vibe of the vest. I want it to be a little gappy, a little summery, a little tie in the front, like just layering piece. Because that's kind of just like, I got the yarn on Catalina Island when I went over the summer last summer. Was that last summer? Yeah, that was last summer. I'm being crazy. But I only got 3 balls because it wasn't like the most expensive, but it wasn't super cheap either. And it, I believe, yeah, it's a DK weight yarn. So again, not too much I can do with 3 balls. So it's going to be a vest. And I don't have that with me, but I'm very excited because I've never spent a summer in New York. I'm told that it's muggy and hot, but I don't think anything can be muggier or hotter than San Antonio, Texas, so I feel pretty prepared. I have these 2 balls of yarn. This is the Chaos Fiber Co. Tonal in the color Elite, and it's a 75 superwash and 25 nylon sock yarn, and this is the Bad Frog Yarn Co. 100% superwash merino wool fingering weight yarn. And I'm going to make socks out of these. You guys guessed it so correctly. This one is actually from San Antonio. This is from some other place in Texas. I don't remember. But I got these last June and I thought they would just go really cool together for a pair of socks. And yeah, you know, a bright summery color. And yeah, just overall good vibes for that pair of socks. I don't know what pattern I'll use, or if I'll use a pattern. Maybe I'll feel confident enough to just like freehand some socks. I'm really not sure, but we'll see when the time comes. And the last plan I have for May is we're gonna have to see how this works out, because I put granny square pillow. And it's because I know I have pillow inserts at home and acrylic yarn I would make a pillow out of at home. And I don't know if I packed them, because I packed up a few boxes like just to like be ready for my mom to ship, and I don't think that I put either of those things in one of the boxes. But I really want a pillow, similar to why I want a blanket. Like I just want like home room decorations. So we'll see. But that is what I want to be doing. It's obviously all up in the air. Like we'll see how any of that goes. But for June, I have, again, this is another month with 4 things, because I'm anticipating being bored. If we're being completely honest, I'm anticipating being bored. I need to work over the summer, but I won't have class. And I just don't think I'll like have much to do. I love the city. I love the school. There's not much to do. So yeah. First thing on the list for June is I want to redo my green tank top that I made with Lion Brand Kobu. I made it last March. Yeah, right before my birthday trip last year. It's a great tank top. It's a great pattern from Evelyn something. Her Instagram and her Etsy is like Evelyn and Peter, I think. Or maybe those are her kids' names. I don't know. But she makes great patterns, which is why I'm just annoyed, because I made this tank top literally a size too small. Like I could have just made a bigger size, but I was so scared of making it too big that I like made it too small. And I have leftovers of that yarn, and I thought I would just make another one, but I think I'm going to like be smart and undo the one that I made, because I don't need a tank top that doesn't fit me and a tank top that does fit me. So that'll be a project of its own, because I'm pretty sure that I like wove in the ends really well, and like I really put some time and effort into that tank top, and I know that undoing it is probably going to be a pain, but like that's why it's a June project, because I'll have the time. And I don't have the yarn with me. I know it's in Texas, but I'll get it. it'll get here eventually. We'll see, like we'll figure it out. Yeah, inserting picture of the kobu that I have left in my stash, but like that's literally enough to make a whole new tank. But well, maybe I'll start the tank with the stuff in stash, and if I run out of yarn, then I'll start undoing the one I made, you know, that kind of vibe, just so it's like less work. I think that makes a little bit more sense in my lazy making. But the next thing that I want to make is another green Lion Brand natural fiber top. I'm really original, as you can see. But I have 4 balls of the Lion Brand Soft and Simple yarn in my stash. I got it on clearance because Lion Brand is so notorious. Like, I feel like people blame Joanne for it, but it's also like a Lion Brand thing. They're so notorious for releasing yarns, whether they're good or not, and then like discontinuing them fully at the end of the season, which I'm like, if you wanted to carry things seasonally, that's one thing, but to fully discontinue it just feels so dramatic and like a waste of money to like put something in production and then like stop months later. I don't know, I'm not a business person, but that just doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, I got this on clearance because it was like, I don't think you can get it anymore. Usually when something goes on clearance with Joann's, you can't get it anymore, is what I found to be true. So I have 4 balls of it, and I want to make, again, I keep saying summer top, but like it's such a basic idea. But I did find this picture on Pinterest, and it has a pattern attached to it, and I just think it's really cute. And I think a green version, I mean, a brown version will go well in my wardrobe, but I think a green version will also go well in my wardrobe. So loving that. Hoping I have enough yarn. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm a little worried, but we'll see. If it ends up not being enough yarn, I do still want to make like a top with some kind of thick strap. Like I don't want like a tank top, like strappy vibe. I want a little more coverage, and I'm hoping that I have enough yarn here to do that. The other thing that I have planned for June is a cotton bag. I have a cone of white cotton and 4 balls of teal lily sugars and cream. The cone is peaches and cream from Walmart, so basically the same thing. But I want to hold them together and make a summer bag. I'm going to put a picture of the one that I like really want to make, but we'll see. Just that vibe of like kind of sack, thick strap, like hard, like it's going to be made with 100% cotton, double, like held double, like it's going to be a sturdy bag. And because I have this idea in my head of going to the lake and taking this bag with me, so that feels like a June thing to me. So we'll see. Maybe like, and I might not make it to the lake in June, but I would like the bag to be done in June. Then on the tail end of the month, or who knows, maybe in the middle of the month, I want to start a sweater, but with cotton yarn. And this yarn I do have with me because it was gifted to me by someone. She goes to school here, and her mom gave it to her to give to me because my sister's very close with them, which means I'm close with them, which means I got the yarn. Anyways, Queensland Collection Coastal Cotton Ocean Mist. Pure soft cotton. And it is soft. I love it. It's also very, very colorful. So I have 8 of these. Hold on. 7 or 8. I literally can't count. But I want to make like a sweater, like a summer. I said summer sweater, and my sister thought I sounded stupid, but I don't think I do, because I used to live in Southern California where if you went to the beach in the summer and the sun set, it was cold. Like you needed a light sweater if you were there once the sun went down. Like that's not a crazy thing to me, I feel like. I don't know why she like was like a summer sweater. Like yeah, and it's made out of cotton, like duh. And also if it's just like a cooler day or you're in the shade or something, like you need a sweater or something. That being said, wow, that was a tangent. But basically, I think I'm hoping it'll be enough. What I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna make it like raglan style. So I'm gonna like make it raglan style, connect under the arms, and then do the sleeves. And then if it ends up cropped, that's fine. It's a summer sweater, but at least I'll have sleeves, you know? So that's kind of the idea, just because I think if I hold it, like I make it a little gappy, maybe a hook size too big or something. Like, I think it'll be fine because it is a bit of yarn, but we'll see. I'm open to experimentation because I didn't buy the yarn. I feel like I've been filming for a long time, and I also feel like my throat, like my voice is starting to show it, but I so don't want to get up right now. So we're gonna see how many more months we can get through before I sound like a toad. If I already sound like a toad, I'm so sorry. But on to July. I have here a tank for my sister because I was gonna destash some yarn over the winter break. And I was like, I don't know if I want to make a tank top out of this. I don't know if it's enough for a tank top, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, can I have a tank top? And I was like, okay. So she's a tiny bit smaller than me. So I think depending on how I do it, I can squeeze a tank top out of it. If not, I'll probably destash the yarn. But for now, I have in my plans that for July, I'm going to make my sister a tank top. I'm also going to finish the sweater that I just mentioned, the speckled one. I have no idea if this is like not enough plans for the summertime. I really don't know what my days will be looking like. So for now, I'm having finished the sweater in July. And then I want to make a brown cotton top, which is similar to the green top, but the green is not all cotton, it's a blend. So I have here summer top ? And might be too little destash possibly. I have great planning skills, guys. But then also the picture I have here is another vest, which I think having like a light beige tweedy vest and a dark brown vest for the summer, like these are my colors. Like I think it's not going to be like too many vests. So either a tank top or a vest. Like I think I can still make something out of it. I don't think I'll need to destash. Hopefully not. But yeah, that's the vibe. I also have a 6-day star blanket. I'm dying to make one of these. I've been dying to make one for a couple years now. And I have yarn set aside back home for a blanket, but I kind of wanted a different blanket with that. So I don't know where the yarn's coming from for the 6-day star blanket, but I very much want it badly. I want to make it with worsted weight acrylic. I don't want to make it with chunky. I don't want to make it with one of those like carrying cakes. I want to make it like I've seen so many people do such cool color palettes with like I want it multicolored and all that. And I know I have that back in Texas, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to put my mom through the trouble of like going through all my boxes of yarn and like pick out a color palette for this blanket. I don't know how much I'll need. Let's hope, and then like send in a box. Like that seems a little annoying. So we'll see, but I have it on here just because I desperately want to make it. July and August is kind of when I've realized I'm gonna have probably a lot of time, because I have in August granny square blanket, which is what I was talking about. But the more I think about it, like I don't even know if I like that color palette that I have at home. So I might have to rethink color palettes a lot before I have my mom send me yarn. It would be so wrong of me to go buy acrylic yarn when I have so much in Texas. But we'll see. Now, I really shouldn't be talking like this. I'm on a yarn ban. But by August, the situation might be different. Like, I don't know, guys. It might be different. So, for now, August is finished granny square blanket. It's also patent silk top. I'll show a picture of the yarn. I've had this yarn for a while, and I'm very obsessed with the colors of these, and I want to make, I'll show a picture, this vibe of top. I don't know if I have, honestly, enough colors for that vibe of top, but the different stitches and everything, I think I can incorporate, and I think that would be really cool. I hope that is enough, because I only have 816 yards. Anyways, my other thing for August is I put fuzzy monster stuffies, because I have a lot of scrap yarn of different textures and I'm dying to combine them all. And I found pictures of like this kind of vibe of stuffy that are just like, I wouldn't call them ugly, but they're definitely funky and interesting. And I want to use my scrap fur yarns and like different wool blends and just different textures to make like either one or two like 2 like smaller ones or 1 like medium sized big stuffy, I think would be so fun. And I think August will be the time to do that, probably. And then September, school have been back in full swing by then. So we're getting kind of back to like less plans, but also not. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But in September, I have finished Granny Square Blanket, the one that we don't even know how we're going to start. Yeah, that one. Want to finish it in September. And then I want to start my wool Granny Square sweater. And I'll show a picture of the yarns I have right now. But over the last couple years, as I've started going to local yarn stores and stuff and different yarn-ish events, I got in the habit of like buying 1 or 2 skeins of literally fingering weight yarn or sport or DK. No, or sport, I should say. Literally 1 or 2 skeins, and they're all like superwash wool, and I don't, why did I keep buying 1 or 2? I'm not the kind of person who can make like a top in like 2 skeins of yarn. So I just kept getting them. So I accumulated this color palette of yarns. So I'm gonna make a sweater, and I'll show a picture of my inspiration, just so it's like, it's a warm sweater, but it's kind of thin, not kind of thin, very thin. It's fingering or sport weight yarns, and it's just colorful and stuff. So that's the vibe. And I might get 1 more color. I think I need like a green or something in this palette. But yeah, that's the plan for that yarn. And last in September, I have my winter ballet socks, because last January, I want to say it was, or last winter ballet, so it might have been like December 2023. I'm not quite sure when it was. But Sorella did her winter collection for that. I think it must have been 2023, was winter ballet. And I did dance for many years. And I was like, oh, I need this. So I got a sock set, and I've been too scared to use it because it's only 100-gram main color skein, and I think like a 20 or 25-gram mini. So like not a lot of yarn, and because I crochet, like I know you can knit socks in 100 grams, but I'm still unsure if you can crochet socks in 100 grams. I mean, I have now, but I'm still scared. So I've been putting, because it was like an exclusive-ish, can't get it again yarn, I've been putting it aside, but I'm hoping by September I'm like brave enough to use it. So yeah. And in October, we have another vest, but this is the vest using red chunkier yarn, and it's a red like speckled yarn. I'll try to put either the picture I have or a picture I find online of it. And because it's chunkier, I feel like it'll make more sense in October, like as a fall transitional piece, but I'm not sure if by October I'll be like over vests. So we'll see. We'll see, basically, if that happens. The other thing is I want to start another blanket, because I have four, I think, balls of Lion Brand Jiffy. And if you've ever seen one of those balls in store, they're huge amount of yarn. And it's like a weight 5 yarn, really cool yarn. And I just got it to make a sweater, and it's simply the wrong yarn for a sweater. Like, I guess I could, but I don't want to. So I'm going to make a blanket out of it. Don't know what kind of blanket, but it's going to be a blanket, and that's the fun part. And then I have another pair of socks in October with a yarn that I have at home. It's Gusto wool. I got it in Seal Beach, and it's only 100 grams, I think. I really want water, but I've got 2 months left, so I might as well just get on with it. In November, I want to start my Noro sweater / jacket. I got this yarn fall of 2023. Yeah, fall of 2023. Actually, when I visited my sister here, I got it. We went to a local yarn store. I spent an ungodly amount of money on this yarn, and I've been too scared to use it because soon after I bought it, I realized, I was like, wow, this wool, kind of scratchy, kind of not my vibe. And so I kept it in a corner of my room and didn't touch it and just stressed about it for about a year. And I was like, God, like that was a lot of money. Like I'm never gonna be able to resell it for that value. I can't return it. Like I'm kind of screwed. And then I touched it again over winter break, and it just seemed a lot less rough than I remember. not like want to make a tank top out of it, but just a lot less rough than I remember. And also, I'm thinking if I block it with wool wash, it'll get even softer. But I put sweater slash jacket because I want to make something that is going to be the outermost layer. I'm not going to live in this climate forever. Whether I end up in Texas long term or back in California, I simply don't need like a ton of wool sweaters or like a ton. That's why I had to stop with the winter accessories, because I was like, a girl does not need this many scarves outside of this climate. So maybe I should stop making so many scarves. So that's kind of what I was thinking. Just because I live here right now does not mean I don't get cold when it's 50 degrees. Hey, I kind of do. I'm cold all the time. So I'm like, okay, well, in California, to my memory, like, it was like when it got down to like 55, 40s, maybe. Am I making this up? My point is, when it was really, really cold for us there, I can see myself wearing this with like a thin long sleeve underneath. If I like, you know, or even like to the beach at night, freezing. I remember times where I was at the beach and I was in 2 hoodies and a blanket and I was still freezing cold. So yeah, I would like a wool jacket for that situation. Are you kidding me? Would love. So I don't think it's going to be entirely impractical, but I do think it needs to be like the outermost layer. So that's why I put on here, like, it would be like cardigan, big cardigan, or like literally jacket. Found this pattern and I think it'll be the one that I make unless I find something else that I just like love more. But I think I can make this one. And what's slightly annoying is they have like the light version is a DK weight and the regular version is an Aran weight, and the yarn that I have is a worsted weight. So I'm gonna gauge swatch for one of the few times in my life, and I'm gonna see, I'm probably gonna get the Aran weight pattern, and then if I have to make like a size bigger to accommodate the thinner yarn, that's what I'll do. Or I'll crochet. Sometimes my gauge swatch or my whatever I do is so much bigger than the pattern, it might just be fine. But you know, whatever. I'm gonna be cognizant of the fact that I'm using the wrong size yarn and I need to adjust for that. That was a long explanation of what I was doing. But anyways, the other 2 things I have for November are the Tis the Damn Season socks, another Sorella sock yarn that I need to unfollow her, honestly, but I don't want to. This was the most recent, I don't remember if she said holiday or winter or whatever, like limited edition color. And this is Tis the Damn Season is a Taylor Swift reference, but people have they bring up Tis the Damn Season as a phrase during like Christmas, fall, like wintry time. And I just thought that this color was so beautiful. And also, she posted the announcement for this the day I finished finals last semester, and I was like, a treat for myself. Like, I need it. So I got this sock color, the sock yarn. It's 100% superwash merino wool. Her classic sock, it comes with 400 yards and 100 grams. And again, might buy a contrast color, might not. Maybe I'll buy the same contrast color as for my other, like I'll just save money and get the like one full skein of a sock yarn and use it for this and the other one. Who knows? The world is my oyster. Maybe. And last thing for November is to finish the Lion Brand Jiffy blanket. I don't have a pattern. I have a singular inspiration picture that I might do, but I really don't know. Otherwise, it's just going to be a blanket. If I end up doing a corner to corner granny square stitch and like it's just the most boring you've ever seen, don't judge me. It means that by October I was so brain dead from school and tired and exhausted that that's all I wanted to do. And so you can't judge me for that. But anyways, I'm speaking way too far ahead. In December, I have 4 things listed. We'll see. I mean, I don't think these are crazy actually for what I don't think this is crazy for any December, quite frankly. The first thing is a gift for my sister. I was supposed to make her a scarf before she went abroad. She's currently abroad. I was supposed to make her a scarf that did happen, but in my defense, she never made a point to go to the yarn store or any yarn store with me. So how was I supposed to know what yarn to get her? But for that gift specifically, I know she wants a cable scarf, but I want to get her nice yarn for it. So she knows she's getting it, and she has to be there to pick the yarn. But I do want that to be by next Christmas because it's kind of still been looming over me. The next thing is to finish my Noro project, as we discussed for far too long. It's going to be a jacket of some sort. The third thing I have is a Grinch project. I will insert a picture because I don't have it with me. But I have a singular cake, and I haven't even measured it. I don't know how much it weighs. A singular cake of a bright green fuzzy yarn that reminds me so much of the Grinch. It's hilarious. And I was going to make a hair bow out of it, and then last couple months ago, I was at Target and I found a Grinch green fuzzy hair bow for $8 and immediately bought it. So that went my plan for the Grinch bow. I don't want to have two green bows, so I'm not going to make it. I really don't know what I'm going to make. I really don't, but I know it has to be Grinch themed because, hello, the yarn is perfect. So I literally just put Grinch project, and I'll figure that out in December. And then lastly for December, I just have finished my temperature blanket. Now, I don't know if that seems like weird planning, but almost every year that I have I've done a temperature blanket since 2022. So we're on year 4 of temperature blankets. And no matter how good I am throughout the year of keeping up with it, by December, I'm usually behind by at least a month. So I'm being realistic. I'm saying, you know, I might have to take some time in December to finish up the temperature blanket, and that's just a fact of life. Life gets crazy. So yeah, that's the last thing for December. Okay, as much as I thought that I was going to be super organized, I still feel like this video might have been a little all over the place because I like to ramble. So if you got through all of it, thank you so much for listening to my rambles and my crazy tangents about the things that I do. But yeah, that is my plans for 2025. And I'll put a little note if I can figure out what yarn I'll have left that's not already in a plan for something. But I realized, I was like, oh, I don't have that much yarn after everything on this list. So I think it'd be really cool to get my stash down super low. It's not a goal for me to have no yarn in my stash. I just wanted it less than I have currently. And so I think my plans for this year are really gonna tackle that. And so next year might look really different. I might have to kind of come to terms with, do I want to be someone who buys yarn just when I need it for a project? Do I want to take advantage of certain indie dye like drops? Do I want to take advantage of certain big box sales? Like, I don't know, because for the past like basically all of last year and this year, I'm so focused on using what I have. I kind of don't know what kind of, because before that, I was an impulse shopper. I was absolutely an impulse shopper when I was like at big box stores, because that's where I've been shopping the most. So I don't know what I'll be like in 2026. Maybe I'll be exactly the same and just shouldn't be allowed in a Joann's. If Joann's, hey, not to jinx it, if Joann's is around in 2026. They're not looking good right now, and yes, I am very stressed and heartbroken about it, but there's nothing I personally can do. So we'll see where the year takes us. And I'm rambling way too much. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me in ways that aren't just watching and liking and subscribing and commenting, which are all good things and you should be doing, peace and love. But if you want to do more than that, I do have an Instagram and a Pinterest that you can check out. I'm going to try to plug my Instagram more because she's making me angry. And not in the fact that I don't like Instagram, just that I've been teetering between 700 and 800 followers on Instagram for like 2 years, and I really don't know why anymore. So you guys should follow my Instagram. I promise I'm fun on there. Like, I promise. But anyways, Pinterest I don't use too much. I'm going to try to get into it again this year because I posted a few pictures on there that I like really loved and then just like fell off. But I have a tripod now, so I'm hoping that my Pinterest game and my Instagram game will all go up this year thanks to the tripod. That's enough rambling. I also have links down below for 2 different Amazon wish lists if you want to support me just in life. There are things you can order for me. There's a Ravelry wish list that if you want to buy me a pattern, I have patterns, but hey, there are patterns on there that I would love to make that I will incorporate into these plans if someone buys them for me, obviously. And I have a buy me a coffee link, which is when you can buy me anywhere from 1 to like 5 coffees, and it just is great for me because I am caffeine deprived. I'm caffeine deprived. I'm a caffeine fiend and need it a lot, especially come April. So yeah, that is everything that I have to say today. Thank you so much for watching, and to those 2 people who said you wanted a planning video, that was for you, and anyone else who didn't, but like mostly for those 2 people. Anyways, I'm gonna go clean all this up and probably start editing this because I don't have that much time this week. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!